He did not voluntarily resign from the SAPS. Booysen is testifying before the Mokgoro Enquiry in Pretoria. The inquiry is investigating the fitness to hold office of suspended NPA senior advocates Nomcgobo Jiba and Lawrence Mrwebi. Jiba unlawfully authorized racketeering charges against Booysen in 2012. Booysen had previously stated that the charges were an attempt by Jiba to prevent him from investigating high-profile cases with political implications. The racketeering charges were subsequently set aside by the Durban High Court. Jiba's decision to charge Booysen was heavily criticized by the court. Booysen also detailed a meeting he had with former President Jacob Zuma's son, Edward, while at the time probing KwaZulu-Natal businessman Toshin Pandey about multi-million rand tender irregularities.
There were two significant things that happened while this investigation was ongoing against Toshin Pandey, over and above the fact that I was under pressure from the Provincial Commissioner to stop the investigation. During the investigation, it came to light that 60 million rand of contracts had been acquired by Toshin Pandey from the police. The investigators informed me that 45 million rand had already been paid out and the remainder was about to be paid out. I immediately wrote a letter to our financial services and our legal services instructing them not to pay out the 15 million rand because it was subject to a corruption investigation. A while later, my secretary said to me that she'd received a call from, at the time she said to me, the brother of the president, Mr. Jacob Zuma. So I said to her, what is it that he wants? And she said, no, he wants to meet with you. So I said, well, let him meet with me. And unfortunately, she took ill and she had to go for a mastectomy to hospital. And on her return, she received a similar call. She then said to me, no, the brother of the president wants to see me. And I said, okay, where does he want to meet? And he wanted to meet me somewhere. And I said, look, I prefer to meet in my office so that it's properly recorded. It then turns out, on the day that he in fact did come to my office, it turned out to be the son of the erstwhile president, Mr. Jacob Zuma, the son being Edward Zuma. We exchanged greetings, and a while after we had exchanged greetings, he indicated to me that there's an issue he had to discuss with me, and it related to the 15 million rand which I'd frozen. So I said to him, well, what's your interest in this matter? And he indicated to me that he was a silent partner of Toshin Pandey, and that he was not getting his dividends because I'd frozen the money, and he would like me to release the money. And I told him, look, if I do that, I'll be complicit in corruption myself, and obviously I'm not going to do that. I actually told him, I said to him, Edward, take advice from, not from a policeman, say a friend. Go to Toshin Pandey, tell him, he actually told me that he had invested 900,000 rand with Toshin Pandey. I said to him, go to Pandey, those were my words, ask him you want your money back, take your money and walk away and never look back again. Subsequent to that, a couple of months later, I received a call from a friend of mine who happened to be at Nkandla, who also knew Edward Zuma. And he said to me, hold on, someone wants to speak to you, and it was Edward on the line. And we joked, and I said to him, I hope he heeded my advice, and he laughed and he said that he had indeed heeded my advice, which he obviously did not. That's the one thing. During the investigation, we were running legitimate Act 70s, that's the interception of communications between Toshin Pandey and a few other people. On the day of the arrest of Colonel Naveen Madusa, obviously the evidence will show that the money was handed to Colonel Madu by Toshin Pandey, who then came to my office and he was going to give me the money. And in exchange for that, I was going to give them a document that would compromise the investigation. I did not want the document to leave, that's why we terminated the operation there and then. So, on the Act 70s, it's clear that subsequent to Colonel Madu's arrest, Pandey became frantic because Madu was not returning with a document. And he started making calls to a number of police officers. One of them was to the Provincial Commissioner at the time, but he couldn't get through because I think she was detained with a meeting in Pretoria. One of the calls was made to a person by the name of Jiba Mrwebi. Jiba Mrwebi is the nephew of the erstwhile state president, Mr. Jacob Zuma. During this discussion, I will not repeat the exact words because they were not very nice words about me. And it was indicated that for me having the temerity to arrest them for trying to corrupt me, I was being called a mafia leader, and they decided there and then, in the words that Jiba Mrwebi used, is Booysen's wings will be clipped. And I think that's very significant that those two particular issues, Edward Zuma having come to my office, wanting me to release the money, which I refused, and also Jiba Mrwebi, who's a direct family member of the then state president, saying to a suspect that we are investigating that my wings will be clipped.